The difference between individuals and businesses that make it through hard times and the ones that don't is their ability to generate fast cash quickly. A couple of years ago, I was $600,000 in debt. And the way I was able to pay it off in 6 months is because of exactly what I'm about to show you. So today, I'm going to be walking through the exact step-by-step plan that not only I use, but also my students are using to generate cash quickly when they're in a pinch. If you're new to this channel, all we do is we teach you lessons on how to grow your business to $100,000 per month. And then from there, we also talk about how do you train your team and what do you need to have in place to run a multiple seven-figure business. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back. If you execute this properly, you can make money off of this in the next 30 days. Now, I'll start this by saying, if you are dead broke, like you have less than a couple $100s in your bank account, all of these things are going to be relatively difficult. My recommendation, if you're in that position, is to go get a job that actually pays you a salary. Now, if you're watching this channel, I'm assuming you're not a complete newbie to wholesaling. You've done a couple of deals, or maybe you have a CRM full of leads, and you just need to get a quick win to kind of get your business back into gear. And that's exactly what I'm going to be covering today. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is something I call the CRM blast. The CRM blast is when you take all the leads that are in your CRM, you do two things to them. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to upload them into a dialer. This isn't something that we're going to do every single day. You might think, why don't we always just upload our CRM into the dialer? Now, the goal of this should be pretty obvious. You are just trying to get in front of as many people as possible. If you're on a single line dialer, you might be able to make $150 to $200 a day. If you're doing a double line, a triple line, maybe even a 4-line dialer, you can call 3, 5, maybe even 600 people per day if done the right way. And you want to talk to as many people as possible to have the best opportunity to actually get somebody on the phone. So I recommend that you use things like Call Tools. Call Tools is a really good platform. You can just upload your entire CRM, your entire list into there. You could also mix this in with some old age lead lists. I can go into that a little bit later. There's other ones out there like Mojo Dialer, Smartphone, a bunch of really good tools for it to be able to dial. Now, what you're also going to do is you are going to do an SMS blast to your entire CRM. Now, the SMS blast, what you send needs to be very specific. You're not just going to say, hey, are you still interested in selling the property? This is how you get the best response. You're going to say, hey, name, I might have a better way to help you sell, and then the address. And then you're going to do ... This text works very, very well. Now, if you have an old age lead list from like years ago, you might say, hey, I might have a way to get you more money for 123 Main Street, but that has to be like probably a list prior to 2021, 2022, and you scrub it for all the solds. This text blast is very, very effective to be able to get people just to respond to you. They're like, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean you're going to be able to help me more? And then you're going to pick up the phone and call them. Now, when you're trying to figure out which leads to upload to the dialer first, it's important that you have your list of priorities correct. And so the second thing that we would do when we're trying to generate money quickly is we create something called an attack list. An attack list should be inside of your CRM anyway. And if it's not, you should watch the CRM best practices video that I did in this CRM. But I'm going to go over all of the most likely to close. And so what I'll do first is I'll look at all of my opportunities that we were close on price, right? So I consider close on price within $30,000. If you're within $30,000, you're generally close on price unless you're only targeting like $50,000 properties. So I'll go after all of those first. The second thing that I'm going to go after is I'm going to go after all of my no-show appointments. And what I'll do with these is I'll send them a text and I'll say, did you give up on selling 123 Main Street? No one likes to give up on anything. And so when you text this, did you give up on selling 123 Main Street? Oftentimes they're going to say, no, I didn't give up. I just decided this. And you can call them, you can engage them into a conversation, right? From there, I like to look at all of the appointments set without offers. This is usually where the lowest hanging fruit is you had somebody that maybe you qualified or you booked an appointment for. So for some of you guys that don't actually book appointments inside of your CRM, you might just look for qualified leads, somebody that has enough equity for you to be able to buy the house. They were actually going to sell the property in the next 90 days. They're the owners. And they are in your location if that is a metric that matters to you. So that's the next thing is you want to have some sort of qualification there. If you don't have this, there are tons of videos on my training where I break through the list. If you don't have this, there are tons of videos on my YouTube channel where I break through what list you need to have set up in your CRM. So that way, when you are short on cash, you can just go right to this. So you have the 30K. Within 30K, you have the no-show appointment. You have the appointment set without offers. I also then like to look at all of the leads that haven't been contacted in the last 30 days, and I will just start attacking those. And so in most CRMs, you can set up a filter where you can say the last contact date, the last pickup date was, and then you can put more than 30 days ago. So I'll put contact is greater than 30 days. I'm going to start going through all of these, and I want to make sure that my list of priorities, I'm doing it in this order. So I want to get the most likely to close first, and then I'll go through all the no-show appointments. I'll do the appointment set without offer. So maybe somebody I spoke to and I just never gave them an offer for whatever reason. And then I'll do the haven't been contacted in the last 30 days. Now, it's really important when you are going after this attack list is that you have the right process. You have the right sales process. You have the right script. And so I don't want to just call these people and say, hey, Bob, I'm just following up with you on that property on 123 Main Street. Were you still interested in selling? They're going to be like, even if they are interested, they'll be like, no, I don't want to have a conversation about this right now. And so I'll give you the first line of the script that I give to my advanced inner circle students. What we do is we start the call like this. Hey, Bob, can you hear me? Like, yeah, who's this? Yeah, it's just John. You spoke to Mike on my team back in April of last year, but I believe the timing wasn't quite right. I guess I should ask, did you sell that property or were you still looking for ways to sell it? It's really important you ask the question that way because I have a response to, yes, I'm still looking for ways to sell it, or no, I just decided to keep it. And both of those are things that we train every single day in our advanced inner circle. We have a Monday call where you can work directly with me. I will help you with whatever deal you have closest to close in the pipeline. I'll role play it with you. You role play it back with me. We have phase breakdowns, role plays, objection handling calls, and live call reviews where you can bring your call and I will coach you through specifically what you need to do. We also have dispo calls with my director of disposition who's closed over $3.5 million in assignment fees. We have a marketing call. We have a lead manager call, and we have an owners only call where we teach you how to actually scale the business from an operator who built a business to $24 million per year. So if you guys want more help with that, I'm going to drop a link in the description. And for the rest of you guys that just want to figure this stuff on your own and take much, much longer to be able to do it, I will show you guys the last step of generating cash quickly. And that is to novate all of your cash offers. And I'm going to specifically talk about one of the ways that we novate properties that if you don't have a big pipeline, you don't have a ton of deals closing, this will help you get some more deals with something we call a manager pitch. If you don't know what a novation is, it's a pretty simple process. Instead of working directly with a cash buyer, you're going to put the property on the market. You'll be able to get the seller more money, and then you'll be able to make the difference even though you did sell it to a retail buyer. You're not getting a commission. You're making the difference between what you bought the property for and what you sold it minus the commissions and closing costs. That's a simplistic view. If you guys want more information on novations, you can also use that link in the description. We have an entire novation masterclass inside of our community. However, what not everyone teaches is something we call the manager pitch. The manager pitch is honestly the closest thing that you can get to a listing agreement without being a real listing agreement. With the manager pitch, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find out the seller's absolute bottom dollar needs. That's one of the things that the top closers in the world do differently than the average wholesaler, is the wholesalers are focusing on the seller's wants, but the top closers really get clear on what the seller actually needs to be able to solve their problem. Once you find out that number, you are going to then pitch your novation. The novation is taking a little bit longer. It takes 60 days versus the 20-day cash offer or 14-day cash offer, but it allows them to get more money. Now, if they still shut that down, this is what a manager pitch is. A manager pitch is saying, hey, I've been doing this for a really long time. I honestly believe that the property is going to sell at $200,000. However, you seem incredibly confident that this thing could at least go for $220,000. I won't guarantee you that it will, but what I will do is I will try it. I will send you over an agreement at the $220,000 and I will give it my best. I'm going to put it on the market. I'm going to blast our buyers. I'm going to circle prospect everybody. And I am going to try to get you an offer that works for you at $220,000. Now, obviously you need to make a little bit of money on top of that. So only do this for deals where you feel like there is a fighting chance. There was a deal that we did this with where we really didn't have a lot of comps to back up that this property would sell for $680,000. However, it was a corner lot, or it was a cul-de-sac property, one of those ones that has like the big lot compared to all the rest of them. And it wasn't a pretty hot market. So we decided we were just going to try it. And we actually ended up making $66,000 on this deal. And so the beauty of this is you're being extremely transparent with the seller. And the last question that you ask them is really important. You say, I am willing to do this. The only thing that I ask is if all the offers do come in where I believe that they will, roughly around the 200,000, you have to be at least willing to have a conversation about what that would look like if we closed at that price. Are you willing to do that? So that way you know you did everything in your power to get the absolute top dollar for the property. Some of you guys might be thinking, why wouldn't I just do this on every deal? If you do this on every deal, you're going to have an extremely messy pipeline. You're going to have 50 active deals and only 5 to 10 of them are going to sell. However, right now you need money and you should have a lot of time on your hands. You obviously don't have a big pipeline, and you could put in a little bit more effort to do things like circle prospecting, calling the real estate agents around, cold calling to find more buyers, doing whatever you need to do to get that property sold. Shoot, if you're in market, you can even go over there and get it cleaned up to make sure that it's presentable. This is the time where you use that sweat equity, right? You're going to hustle a little bit harder to make some money, but it's what you need to do to be able to get money back into your bank account quickly. If you are struggling for cash right now, make sure that you go through this 3-step process and let me know in the comments how this ended up working for you. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe for new videos like this every single week. You guys go crush it. I'll see you guys on the next one.